Greetings, fellow Gorehounds, and welcome back to a Blood Splattered vlog. I'm the Horror Guru.
And I'm Count Jackula.
And today we're going to be talking about Skull the Mask, which is a Brazilian film in the Portuguese language. So, unless you speak Portuguese, you're going to be watching this in subtitles. But don't let that turn you off the movie, because this movie is utterly insane. And I think everyone should see it at least once.
Yeah, if you're a gore fan, then you're going to love this movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you love, like, really stupid plots, you're going to love this movie.
Oh yeah, so basically this movie, Skull the Mask, is about basically this mask of this pre-Columbian demon god thing called Ananga. It is basically uncovered by this archaeologist who brings it to this city, and how do I put it? This kickstarts a whole series of events that leads to an attempted resurrection of said god in the form of a guy wearing the mask killing everybody left and right.
Yeah. Imagine, like, imagine Jason Goes to Hell done right.
Yes, that's the movie I kept thinking of while watching this. It very much feels like Jason Goes to Hell. In all the best ways, actually.
Yeah, in all the ways that Jason Goes to Hell should have happened.
Oh yeah, well, because one of my both you and I have talked about this, that like our contention with Jason Goes to Hell is that one thing that could have saved that movie, at least in the eyes of the Friday the 13th fan base, is if instead of just like having like a weird alien creature that moves from body to body like The Hidden, if you had everyone if you had them all put on the hockey mask and turn into Jason or something.
Yeah. They put on the hockey mask and then all of a sudden they just turn to Jason Voorhees.
So that way, no matter whose the body is, there's an iconically Jason aspect to them.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and I honestly feel like that could have saved that movie. And this movie kind of has that, even though it's not Jason, and I really dig that.
Yeah. This is definitely the mask attaches itself to somebody, you turn into a fucking unkillable zombie that just fucking slashes people left and right,
while randomly flashing to like a weird acid trip fucking other dimension in which some ancient fucking god that's like a skeleton man is sitting there while your blood sacrifices are filling, like, I don't know what you would call it.
Yeah, it's just like a bowl in front of him that the sacrifices fill.
Yeah, and it looks like Aztecian gold or something. I don't know.
And like, and I don't think they tell you that once, like, the bowl is full, like, he'll destroy the world.
Yeah, well, I was never quite sure what was supposed to happen, but I knew it wasn't good.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be bad.
Absolutely. But here's the thing. Why he's filling the bowl with blood and all that shit is not what matters. What matters is watching this guy go from person to person, just slaughtering them in really awesome practical gore effects.
It's just pure like 80s style slasher movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, definitely like a la like Jason Lives.
Yeah.
He's just killing people left and right.
But with like the convoluted plot contrivances of like Jason Goes to Hell or The Hidden or those kinds of movies.
Yeah. It reminded me of Jason X a bit too.
Oh yeah, there's a little bit of Jason X. Yeah. Especially with how big he is.
Yeah, with how big he is and how weird shit goes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So like, it's gnarly, it's bloody. I don't remember. Was there nudity?
I can't remember if there was nudity.
I know that there was a rave in which a lot of people were obviously like fucking in the background, but I don't know if
I don't know if they were nude. Yeah, I think they had like their skirts, their pants pulled down, their skirts hiked up.
There's a lesbian couple that makes out at one point, but I don't think they ever actually have sex. I don't know if there was actual nudity in this, but there's definitely a lot of blood and gore.
Oh yeah, super huge amounts. No, there is no such thing as a blood vessel that is not a high pressure hose in this movie.
Everything's like, it's like Kill Bill or one of those old Chinese action movies. It's just
you know, like no matter what happens. And it's even like, the thing is you can tell it's a practical effect because it's often slightly off cue.
Yes.
You know?
The movie is also obviously done on like a very low budget. But that kind of leads to its charm. Like the fact that it is such a obviously low budget film, but is going for such heights and kind of achieving them.
Yeah. Well, it feels like a really successful trauma movie.
Yes.
You know, one where they were just sort of like, all right, this is absolutely what we're going for.
Yeah.
Well, how's the best we can make this shitty effect look?
Yes.
And this movie rings that bell constantly.
I will say this. I don't know if this was the product of it being in a foreign language and me having to read the subtitles while watching it, or if it's just a product of the movie moving really fast. But it took me at least 2 watches to understand the plot because so much shit happens in the movie.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff that happens in the movie, and sometimes you're trying to figure out if you're missing a cultural cue, or did the movie just do something to justify a bad cut?
Yeah, that would happen a couple times. Yeah, I would have moments like that too. It makes more sense in the second. It made more sense to me in the second rewatch, because in the second rewatch I was paying less attention to the dialogue and more what was happening on screen.
Yeah.
So like little details, like like that item was actually in the prologue and I didn't catch that because. Later, when I was watching it the first time around, I was like, why is this item important again? Like,
yeah. Oh, you talking about the hand?
No, it was the femur. The
right.
Femur. Yeah.
Yeah, you're just sort of like, why is that there?
Yeah, there's this whole plot point with this femur that this one character demands another character give to him. And I'm like, what the fuck is the femur? And then when I rewatched it, I'm like, oh, the femur is actually in the prologue that's set in the past, so it actually is connected.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be like a holy relic of like a dead saint or something.
It's a weapon, you know?
Yeah, you beat the fucking Jason guy to death with it.
Now, in looking up some of the actual mythology behind this movie, from what I gather, this movie kind of does with its mythology what American movies often do with stuff.
Well, I was about to say, as far as like its accuracy to myth, clearly we are in the Larry Cohen cue the winged serpent kind of territory.
Well, you know how American movies have this tendency to take every myth, no matter what it is or where it came from, and trying to connect it somehow to Christianity?
Yeah.
To where it's like, oh yeah, this ancient god from this tribe of people from thousands of years ago. Well, now that's just a demon, right?
Right.
This movie kind of does that same thing.
Oh yeah, it absolutely does.
Which I don't mind. American movies do that all the time, but I can totally understand if you're from that culture why it might annoy you. But I had a blast with this movie.
Oh, yeah.
I highly recommend it. It is currently a Shudder original movie, so if you want to watch it, you're going to have to watch it through Shudder. I don't know in other territories other than North America if it's like available on a different platform, but at least here, it's available on Shudder, so watch it there.
Yeah.
And with that said, I think we should finally move on to the spoilers, because there's a lot of shit that happens in this movie.
I think the first spoiler we need to talk about is cat inconsistency.
Oh, yes. Okay, this is so dumb, but I noticed this weird inconsistency in this movie. Okay, so there's this character in the movie, Beatrice, I think was her name?
The cop woman.
Yeah, she's a cop. She's the grizzled cop who had like a bad case in the past. So now in the public eye, she's kind of seen as like shitty cop person.
Yeah.
And so like she's investigating, okay, so this ancient artifact, it's taken from its ancient like resting place
by Nazis,
and then eventually uncovered later by this archaeologist who brings it to São Paulo. I forget what.
Yeah, I think it was São Paulo.
Yeah, a Brazilian city, and the mask goes on a killing spree when it arrives there.
Yeah,
like literally turns into a fucking spider thing and starts like ripping out people's hearts. Eventually it finds a guy and takes over his body and just starts using his body as the weapon. And this cop is the person who's trying to investigate these murders and figuring out what's going on. Now the thing is, the first time we see this cop in her own house, she has a kitty cat. It's an adorable little kitty cat. It's just kind of there in the background of the shot. It's like,
yeah.
But the kitty cat in the first shot you see is an all black cat. You can clearly see in the front of it, it's all black here, it's all black everywhere. Later in another shot, when she's on a couch, you can see it in there very briefly, and it's a black and white tuxedo cat all of a sudden. All right, I see you, movie. I see. I know you're a low budget, but I demand cat consistency in my films. If you can't tell, I don't actually have many complaints of this movie. It's actually a really, really fun movie. Like, any complaint you would have with this movie is just if you're not down for the campiness of it, because
it's not. This movie does not take itself very seriously.
It kind of has like its tone kind of reminds me of like of like the Saw movies where they're like so serious it's now campy.
Yes.
Like that's what this movie kind of reminded me of.
Yeah, or shit like The Prowler.
Yeah,
Be My Bloody Valentine.
Like there's like this threshold of seriousness where you taking yourself that seriously now just becomes funny, and it's obvious they were intentionally going for that in this movie. Because there's a lot of because what clues you into that being intentional is there's some genuinely hilarious moments, not the least of which being the entire rave scene.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a scene where killer is just in a rave.
Yeah, well, because one of the conceits in this movie is that the killer, he's trying to get the femur too, that that one of the other characters looking for.
Yeah, because it's the only thing that can stop him.
So he's going in a straight line through the city to get there. So he's busting through walls and everything, and like in the middle of his path, he ends up in a rave.
Yep.
And along the way, he is killing people to sacrifice to the god. And the rave is a perfect place just to fucking slaughter people. And this is a scene where you get to learn some really cool powers this guy has now. He has like these weird tentacles that come out of his arm, and so he can grab onto the machete knife he has, which is a really cool, like, serrated machete.
Yeah.
And just like fling it at people, like with like tentacle strikes. It kind of reminds me of like a scorpion, but like with multiple tentacles.
Yeah.
So it's like, get over here, and just fucking cutting people's heads off, slicing them up. It's great. It's gory. It's fun. Man. Some wild shit in this movie. Oh yeah, much like Jason Goes to Hell, there's the guy who's like tasked with fucking assassinating this thing, and so he's like obsessed with it. Like this has been passed down from father to father, generation to generation. So it is his duty to take the mass down. To the point where he ends up getting like a flamethrower and filling it with like priest blood, so that it would be like toxic to him.
Yeah, flaming priest blood.
But in like
pretty crazy.
As a great example of like this movie's sense of humor, like when he gears up, there's this whole gearing up sequence. It's like Evil Dead or something. And there's like dramatic music, and they finally face each other face to face, and he gets the flamethrower, and he's gonna flamethrow the guy, and then the flamethrower just pitters out. Oh shit. Yeah. And it's moments like that tell you how, this movie is supposed to be funny, and it's
really good. It's funny because the movie is complicated, but the enjoyment is just...
Oh, yeah. Like, I recommend, like, watching it the first time, and then watching it a second time, if anything confused you the first time, because it makes more sense the second time, at least it did for me, because I was able to pick up on things that I didn't pick up on the first time. I still have one question now. I couldn't tell. Okay, all right. I am aware that one of the directors of this movie is following me on Twitter. So if they decide to watch this movie, I would appreciate it if
you mean the vlog?
What?
You mean the vlog?
Oh, did I say something?
You said movie.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure he's seen his own movie.
If you're watching this vlog, then I have a cultural question. Or at least a question about the movie. So in this movie, there's this priest character who's kind of like, he's also one of the people that's tasked to take this thing down. And the priest, it keeps cutting to where the priest lives, which is like this little monastery thing, or this little church. And the church, I couldn't tell. Okay, so the church's floor is just flooded.
Yeah.
And I couldn't tell if that was supposed to be like, okay, so this is just like a dingy ass fucking church, and so there's like a broken pipe, or if like it was supposed to be raining outside, or if there's just some cultural thing about water in church.
Yeah. Like, because it looked like what happened, from my perspective, it looked like what happened is that it rained on the set that day. It rained on location that day, so they were like, okay, fuck it, we'll just work it in. And then they realized they had to change something that happens later to fit that.
Maybe.
So, that's why there's the fight outside, because I feel like originally that was supposed to be inside, but I could be wrong.
So basically, if you're the director and you're watching this, I appreciate if you would comment below and just explain that. And if you're from Brazil and this is actually a cultural thing and you're aware of it, let me know below too, because The one thing I didn't understand about the movie was the watery church.
Yeah, why is the chapel flooded?
Yeah.
You know, like, there doesn't seem to be a reason for it.
The only thing I could think of is that maybe it's like holy water, and it's like there to keep monsters out.
Yeah, maybe, but like, I'd never seen anything like that before.
Yeah, I don't know. It did lead to a really cool visual, though, because at one point the priest gets fucked up and crawls into the church, and so there's like this trail of like watery blood.
That was cool. That looked cool.
That looks really awesome. There's a lot of really cool visuals like that. I also like really loved like the trippy fucking like acid-like visuals.
Oh yeah,
of,
it's
like,
a very fun movie to watch. It's a very good-looking movie.
Also, this movie, this movie follows my tried and true rule. And it's not my tried and true rule, but this movie reinforces one of my own personal tried and true rules, which is this. All right, so when you acquire an ancient, potentially demonic artifact, whatever you do, don't let your witch girlfriend perform rituals on it.
I know, like the person who finds it brings it back to her apartment, and then her goth girlfriend immediately casts a spell on it, and I'm like, what? How does she know what spell to perform?
I get it. Your witchy girlfriend, she looks at you with those big eyes, and she pouts, and she looks so cute. But don't let her. I'm telling you, it's always bad.
On it, never worked. Always goes wrong.
It's always bad.
Oh, you know, another movie this reminded me of a lot actually is Dead Alive.
Oh yeah. The
Peter Jackson
Jackson film. It's got 100% that energy.
Yeah.
100% that energy. Yeah.
Yeah, and about that budget.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, what I'm saying is this movie does a hell of a lot with very little.
And by the way, our comparisons to Jason Goes to Hell doesn't just stop at it having a convoluted plot and like there being a mass that's going around killing people. Like kind of switching bodies, but like, well, it also like the finale of this movie is like right out of Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah.
Like where the guy confronts them, they fight, and then there's like a portal to hell that forms underneath them.
Yeah, the guy just...
There's also like a weird subplot with like missing children that I completely didn't understand the first time I watched it, but the second time it made more sense.
Yeah, because like they need the children for the sacrifice.
Yeah.
You know? Because they're gonna do the ritual. You know?
There's also a weird subplot with like I guess a Chinese subsidiary company.
Yeah, I don't know why that company was Chinese.
I don't know, because the guy running it wasn't Chinese.
Yeah, he looked like he's a Brazilian dude.
Yeah, you know? But like he really wants the artifact, and he plans to sacrifice children to it, and that's like the Z plot. Like you have A, B, and C
you would
plot.
think that would be the main plot, but it really isn't. It's just sort of there.
This movie,
and there was a part of me that was like, "Is what Brazilian people think Chinese people look like?" Like, I really don't know.
I don't know, because it was really important that they stressed that it was a Chinese company.
Like they really went out of their way to say that. You know?
I don't know. Well, maybe it has something to do with culturally. It's like entirely.
It must.
It's entirely possible that right now in Brazil there might be a lot of like Chinese companies moving in.
Yeah, probably. This probably is something like
makes
that.
Sense.
And Chinese corporations really do like digging shit up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it made sense. It was just one of those like,
including pre-Columbian demon god masks that Nazis. Okay. Oh man. All right. Okay. The Nazi opening at the beginning is the cheesiest shit, and I loved it.
Well, it felt like an homage to Hellboy.
Yeah, it 100% felt like cheapo Hellboy.
Yeah.
Okay. I say this with all the affection. But one of the scenes to me that speaks to like how low budget this movie is, and I fucking love it, is when the Nazis are performing their initial ritual, right? So they're performing their initial ritual, and they have a sacrifice, and they got the sacrifice, and they pour the blood on the skull, and then the skull's little like spider things start moving, and you're like, oh shit. But there's also like a circle of fire that like magically forms around the ritual, but you can clearly see the oil
Yeah.
that forged the fire already there.
Yeah, it's like, it's supposed to be like, ooh, the fire comes magically, but it's sort of like, no, we totally see the guy like throwing the match on the thing.
It's like what?
It feels like we're not supposed to.
It feels like you're watching an 80s movie and there's like strings you can see.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And here's the thing, like I'm not knocking it because I actually love that. It added a little charm to the movie. You know,
well, it helps get you. It's one of those weird things that helps you get into the mindset of the movie because you find yourself immediately going, oh, we're not. We know what movie we're making.
Yeah.
We know what movie we're making. It's like we can't get this to look right. It does look realistic. Well, then we won't make it realistic.
Yup.
Well, then fuck it.
Yup. This movie's got gore, it's got body horror, it's got weird, what do you call them, grizzled cop, fucking missing children plots, evil corporations, lesbian witch rituals, and raves. Like, this movie's got everything.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I just realized something.
What's that?
I was trying to figure out who the filmmaker this reminded me the most of.
Okay, who?
You know, Henenlotter.
Oh, I could see a lot of Henenlotter.
Yeah, there's a lot of Henenlotter in this.
I also feel like, I don't know if any of you've ever seen, like, early Takashi Miike movies, like his, like, Yakuza movies. Like, it's got very same energy as to some of those.
Oh, like Dead or Alive?
Yeah, like Dead or Alive or Asaka Tough Guys, like it's very different type of plot, but similar chaotic energy.
Well, yeah, because like when your movie starts out with the guy doing a line of cocaine up a Hot Wheels ramp, and a fucking dude eating at a restaurant, getting shot in the stomach, and then ramen noodles spewing out of the bullet hole, like
that energy,
yeah.
That's the vibe this movie gave me the entire time. I mean, it's even got like a weird fucking like I don't know what you would call it, but like it's like a monkey's paw fucking hand that like when the demon is here, it curls.
Yeah, because like it's like the hand of the dude's grandfather or something.
Yeah.
And like who was like the last guardian.
And also his hand was cut off when he was holding the fever.
Holding the fever, yeah. So that obviously that's where it got magic powers.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
This movie's a lot of fun. If you're like, this movie sounds insane,
it is insane.
It is
insane. Okay, I also okay. So here's the thing. Watch it once. Watch it a second time, paying attention to all the other stuff, and then watch it a third time on acid. There you go.
Yeah. I will say this. This movie's a lot more complicated on paper. Mm-hmm. Like, when you're watching it, you're just sort of like, oh man, he fucking like ripped the guy's head off. He fucking the guy's brain came out. It's fucking awesome.
Like the kill in the car. When he when there's like a couple fucking in a car. Okay, there is nudity.
You're right. That's right.
That's right.
There we go.
The couple fucking in a car. Okay, there's an entire bunch of people commenting right now, going like, finally,
finally you remembered.
You remembered. Yeah, there's a couple fucking in the car. And the skull, whatever you want to call him, Skull walks up to them, pulls the woman out, rips her heart out of her chest, and then like uses her intestines to like
strangle the boyfriend. Yeah,
while also stabbing him. Like,
oh, by the way, the girl chosen for that scene, good choice.
Oh, yeah,
good choice.
She
very good choice.
Met the qualifications.
She did.
You know,
she did.
Yeah. God bless.
Yeah.
Satan bless. So okay, yeah, it does have everything. It does have everything.
Well, it's like nudity's one of those weird things where when you're just sort of used to it, you stop remembering when you see it.
Yes. When you're used to it and super comfortable with it, it's very easy to miss it. I have that problem when editing my videos sometimes.
Yeah,
where I'll edit the scene together or whatever, and I'll forget that like I need to blur this scene out because my brain's not even registering that it's there.
Yeah, you're just sort of like,
so used to
whatever. There's a topless woman over there. Oh wait, YouTube doesn't like that. Oh, I forgot. You know. Yep.
I've had that problem.
Super dudes have gotten jaded.
So Skull the Mask asks for the movie by name, and with that said, where can they find you, Count of the Jackulas?
classy. You can find me on Twitter at JackSatanWave. You can find me on Twitch at @count_Jackula, where I stream twice a week on Thursdays and Sundays at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And you can also find me on Instagram at SatanicJackula. And I would love to see you there, and I fucked up the dismount. Your turn.
Okay. Y'all know me on The Horror Guru. You can find me at The Horror Guru on Twitter, on Twitch, on Facebook, on Instagram. Just look up The Horror Guru or Blood Splattered Cinema, and I'll be there. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so that you're notified of my videos immediately upon their upload. And if you would like to help out either of us more directly, be sure to check out be sure to check out our Patreon pages. Because even $1 a month can go a long way. And if you've made it this far into the video, then put #SkullMask in your comments so that we know you watched the video all the way through. And with that said, peace out, my fellow Gorehounds, and we'll catch y'all later.
I kind of want that mask, too.
Me too.
Yeah.